Hey everyone, and welcome back. In this video, we're doing a What's New in Zoho update, covering the most important changes from the last quarter. If you're using Zoho or even considering it, it will help you understand what actually changed, what matters, and how these updates can impact your business. Now, on the screen, you will see the timeline of the Zoho updates we are going to cover in this video. You can jump directly to any section that's relevant to you, or stay with me until the end of the full video. And if you want a copy of this presentation with all the links and the details, scan the QR code on screen or check the link in the description below. Very quick intro in case this is the first video you see from me. My name is Lior. I'm a business automation specialist and the founder of Amazing Business Results. We are a premium Zoho partner operating in the US, Canada, and Europe, supporting small businesses since 2013. And we currently hold the most 5-star reviews in the Zoho ecosystem. Also joining me in this session is David Polski, our CEO. Let's get started. Okay, so let's begin with Vani, right, David? I'm saying it correctly?
Yeah. I think it comes from a Hindu name meaning eloquent with words. So I think Vani, this visual landscape where you can be visually eloquent, it's very nicely named.
I feel eloquent. I love this word. It's a very nice word. So let's talk about Vani for a second. So this application, it's a new old application that Zoho created. It's part of Zoho One, which I really like it. It's letting you create flowcharts. It has lots of different usages. I personally do everything with flowcharts. If I have anything in my brain, it goes into a flowchart. As an example, last month we had some changes in the legal structure of our companies. We have multiple companies around the world. Lots of moving parts. I throw everything on a canvas, and then as we process the things, I look at the canvas, I check mark, I see what's going on. Bottom line, the 31st, everything is done. I know it's done. Much easier than just a task list, to me anyway.
Yeah, I like the way they describe it as an infinite canvas, right? Because it's limitless, your ideas are limitless. And I think there's quite a few people that are like you that are very visual. And I think being able to present your content visually, it's helpful. Plus, I've used tools like this before, which they're amazing, but I've had to jump out of Zoho and then jump back in. Again, they continue to evolve the Zoho ecosystem so you can do everything inside the ecosystem. I think this is just another really good example of sort of bringing a set of activities inside of Zoho.
100%. Also, when we design playbooks for customers, we do that also on the flowcharts. We used to work with Lucid charts, and now because Zoho presented this product, we're shifting from Lucid charts to Vani. Obviously, it's saving a bunch of money, easier to share with the team. Each member in the team can have his own account. So it's a very nice solution. Let's go to the next product, and that will be Zoho Spend. So, David, I know that you had some experience with that.
Yeah, I've got quite a few years of experience in procurement. In fact, somebody asked me recently, what's the difference between Zoho Expense and Zoho Spend? And it's focus, right? So Zoho Expense is focused on employee reimbursement. So things like travel and card and meals and things like that. And that is a subset of Zoho Spend because employee expenses is just one subset of the ecosystem of spending within Zoho. The other one is procure to pay. So you can see here they support procurement, which is that whole rec to check, right? Requisition, purchase order, approval flow on the spend, then doing the receiving, then matching the receipt. So it goes up against the invoice and the approved purchase order. And if you got a three-way match, it's okay to pay. That whole cycle is now supported very nicely in Zoho Spend. Plus, the other bucket of corporate spending is payroll, right? So you can bring expenses, procure to pay, and payroll all under Zoho Spend. So you can see Zoho Expense is this, and Zoho Spend is this.
So bottom line, it's a tool to manage the company's expenses.
A
Is that correct?
100%. 100%. Now, there are small to medium-sized businesses that can benefit from this, but I think the benefit increases with the size increase of a company. So if you have a 20-person company, you still want to control your expenses, you still want an approval flow. It's still worthwhile using the tool. But again, the bottom line impact of spend control increases as the spend increases.
And would you recommend this tool for a company with 5 employees, 10 employees, 20?
I would say 20 and above is probably where you'll start to get it as you're starting to do separation of duties and you've got people with delegation of authority to spend the corporate dollars. When you got 4 or 5 people, it's still going to be the owner making all the decisions on spend, and you don't really need an approval flow, and you don't have to paper it in as detailed a way as you would with like 20 employees and above.
So I guess that will be the next software we need to implement in at ABR because I think we're big enough for that.
Yeah, yeah, we're 30 people, tons of fantastic execution resources that know Zoho better than anybody.
Absolutely. And next we have Zoho billing. Now, Polski, tell me. I know that Zoho used to have Zoho uh, subscription. The name was changed to Zoho billing. What's new in the enterprise edition?
I think really renaming it to enterprise was a good thing because what they've done is they're now supporting more complex billing structures. And as you sometimes have large organizations, you got multiple entities, you've got mixed types of billing. You've got materials, you've got services, you've got subscription. Being able to do the complex mixed type of billing is supported here. So it's really kind of scaled up its ability to work with scaled up companies.
Got it. And that's also doing, I assume, the same functionality, which is subscription management.
Yeah, they didn't deprecate any functions. All they did was they added the capability and added to the feature set.
Okay. And for people that don't know Zoho billing, if you have any type of subscription in your company, that will be the tool. What I really like about it when we do implementations, when you have a close won deal in the CRM, we automatically create a subscription model on the Zoho billing side. And then when you have a subscription model, we can also append add-ons every month. So if someone, for example, will have extra usage or is doing more things, you can always add it as well. And everything is fully automatic. Very cool.
Yeah, very nice.
Okay, so the next one, we have about 20 updates this quarter.
Wow.
Okay, so next we have the Zoho Conversation Summaries. Let me show you a demo of how it works. So let's assume that right now I have this deal or opportunity. I will have multiple notes. I will have a bunch of emails that were exchanged with this person, maybe tasks and so on. And I don't want to spend too much time reading all those, right? Because I'm busy. I will go to the record assistant and I will have on the bottom here a bunch of options. One of them will be, for example, note summary. So when you click on it, it will just grab the notes and will process them. What I also like about it, let me show you the one that I want to show you. So conversation summary will go over emails and notes and so on. So it's like more general. We have a client that wanted to upgrade one of his accounts. And before they contact the customer, he actually went to the conversation summary and he saw that few emails ago, the customer had a support issue that was not solved. So instead of calling them and ask them to upgrade the account, he just asked, "Hey, I saw that you had the problem last month. Was that fixed?" The customer said, "No, it's not fixed." He said, "No problem. Let me get on of it." And he started to work on it. He solved the problem. He became the Superman of the event and he got the upgrade. So this is super useful because it's also going backwards.
Yeah, you look, if your client has a toothache, unless you're the dentist, they're not interested, right? They're not gonna, want to buy anything from you. But if you go and you fix the sore tooth, then they're going to be so grateful. you're in a much better position. You really need to know what's going on. I think that summary is useful yet for catching up and seeing where things are at, useful for the manager, as you pointed out. I think as you also occasionally have a change of rep, if you have somebody new in that gets assigned that account, going and reviewing the summary will let them ramp up much more quickly on what the activity has been with the customer and what the ongoing status is with them. So very useful tool.
Yeah, I have also million stories on account managers that went to customers and wanted to renew their subscription or have an upgrade or sell more while the customer had issues,
Yeah.
and it didn't end well. One of our customers actually closed his shop because of that, because he lost a bunch of clients, high ticket clients because of that. Let me show you the also on the account side how it works. So when you're going to the account, you will have lots of notes, you will have activities. So you can see here, I have hundreds of items, I have deals. There is no way a human can go over it without spending a day. When I go to the Zia, and then I will go to the those lines, and I will go to record summary. Now it's giving me a full summary of recent activities, the engagement, everything that I need to know as an account manager. Super, super helpful. I really recommend you checking it out.
Beautiful little snapshot. Yeah.
It's very nice. Okay, so the next one will be the Zia prompt and email improvements. First of all, let me show you how to activate all that before I show you the demo. So if you will go to the setup, and then on the right side, you will have Zia. Then you will go to Smart Prompt. You will have a bunch of options here. Now, the best way that I found to work with the smart prompts is to activate OpenAI, which when you click on configure, you need to enter a key of a paid subscription, and then it will use the LLM, the large model of OpenAI, while Zia becomes just the intermediate between the software, between OpenAI and Zoho, which I found it to be with the best results. Right now, Zia is also the LLM, which is not that great. Zoho, I think it's not a competitor to the large models like Google Gemini or OpenAI and so on. I think it's a delivery mechanism. It's a bridge between all that, and it's doing a very good job doing that.
I will say this for Zia, it's better this year than it was last year, and that's sort of typical of Zoho. They're in a continuous improvement. They're always trying to raise the bar and up the game on all the different applications. Hence, us recording this video with 20 different improvements across the Zoho set of apps. But I'm with you. I still think you're going to bring a lot more power from the bigger LLM of OpenAI.
Yep. And Zia is doing, I will have next month a video, data enrichment, predictions, recommendations, vision, assignments, scoring rules that are based on historical data, leads assignment based on best salespeople, based on the deal, lots of stuff that is not really part of any other AI that I know of. So there is a place in the marketplace for Zia. I don't think it's good enough to create content. This is why I recommend you to do the OpenAI. Now, let's go back to the opportunity that we had before. So if we'll go here, and this is, by the way, still Zoho. We just created a nice view that it's easier to consume data, but it's still the same software. So if I will have here the emails and I will go to compose one, I will have on the bottom Zia. Now you can click on it, and instead of creating an email from scratch, you can say, please invite Emily to a demo with Lior. And once you do that, it will just create an email, and the email will be presented. You can copy paste. Okay, you can copy here, paste here, and you're done. obviously go over everything. When you do it with OpenAI, the results will be just a little bit better.
Like anything with AI, it's a starting place, not an ending place. You can see here, you want to do a few little edits to it. You would put in your actual name. What this can do, though, is it can take a junior rep and make them look like an intermediate rep. It can smooth out their communications, up their game in terms of professionalism. So I think that's very helpful as well.
Yep, and in our company, for example, we have a little bit more advanced AI, and what we're doing, we're creating, think about like projects, and there is a project, let's say, for the admins, and projects for the developers and account managers, and when people need to create emails, they just write what they want to say, and based on the library of our company and the knowledge of our company, now we work in the tone that we want to have in the email and so on, the AI is creating all those messages. So it's based on our company, not based on the internet. Okay, so let's proceed to the next item, and that will be the data enrichment. In order to show you that, let's create a new lead. Actually, I will grab this lead. I will just clone it. It will just save me time. And I will delete some details. Okay, so let's assume that I just got now an email from Arvind. I hope I say his name correctly. So, okay, so the lead was just created. Let me change the view to a regular view, not to confuse you guys. So this lead was created. Let's delete the number. And we'll delete also the email. So all I got was the company name. I don't have an email. I don't have also the website. So you can go to the three dots. You can go to enrich data. And now Zia is grabbing it online. And it's saying, even though you called it IBM, the real name is International Business Machines Corp. So I can click here and it will override the data. We also found email, phone number, and so on. So this is cool. And you can see I can click here. And now I save it and the record is saved. Now, the problem that I find with this data enrichment, it's enriching the data on the company level. But let's assume that David came to me as a new lead. I want to know that David is the CEO of Amazing Business Results. I want to know what is their industry. I want to know if they're a private or public company. I want to know number of employees. I want to know what softwares they're using. I need to know lots of information in order for me to approach David in the right way. We had one customer that we did what we call the waterfall enrichment. When a lead comes in, we are sending octopus arms to multiple sources and getting all the information we can about this lead, because for them, a lead will be worth 6-7 figures deals. And when the deal, this lead came in, before we do any assignment, it grabs information, and based on the LinkedIn of this person, we saw that this person is doing jujitsu. And jujitsu, it's very much of, it's a closed circle. If I'm doing jujitsu and I will talk to you that you're doing jujitsu, we will have a good connection immediately, because it's a very specific area. The company saw that this person, the lead, is doing jujitsu, and they know that they also have a jujitsu practitioner in the company. They connected them. So the first call, instead of talking about the solution, it was, hey, where are you training? What are you doing? Are you with Gracie? And so on and so on and so on. Really fast, there was a great connection and there was a deal. So I think the enrichment that Zoho gives out of the box is good, but it can be great if you do waterfall enrichment. Obviously, we can help you. I don't know too many companies that actually doing those approaches because we are more on the business side, but I recommend you trying that.
Yeah, a couple of comments. Reaching out to those, tentacle arms to get to all those sources of data. Just make sure you're using trusted data sources. We're very careful about the data that we select because we
Yeah.
want to be able to rely on it. And I will say deeper, richer data will lead to deeper, richer relationships. And in 30 some years of going to various customers, I've yet to go to a customer that didn't have some degree of dirty data. I think as you have more and more enrichment tools, you might have less degradation of data. You may be able to do easier data updates when you're in a record so that you don't have as big a dirty data set. Because eventually you got to do a cleanup. And that's just a onerous, painful task. And if you can reduce that, it's well worth it.
Yep. And with data, there are lots of things that we can do now with AI. Let's say that lead came, as you saw here, the lead was IBM, but the AI knew it's not really IBM, it's actually this company. So AI can do much better with cleanup. And also here we have bunch of experience with cleaning up systems.
Yeah.
Okay, so next we go with cadences. For people that don't know what are cadences, we'll go back to our CRM. I will just show you the cadences. So this is where you find the cadences. The idea of a cadence is to create a drip campaign. So lead comes in, we'll send him one email. And then after 3 days, another email. And after 6 days, another email. And if they open the email, don't send any more emails. The idea of cadences, it's an old concept. Zoe introduced it, I think, about 2 years ago. And now this update that you have here, it's to include also WhatsApp messages. If you have the integration with WhatsApp, it will allow you to do cadences with WhatsApp as well. If you don't really have too much experience with Zoho, use cadences. If you do know a little bit of what you're doing, I prefer that you will go with the native workflows. Because, for example, for me, a cadence will be lead comes in, I will check a few things. I will check. If it's let's say in a B2C, I will just send them a text message. If it's a B2B, it will be an email. If after, let's say, 3 days, they opened but didn't click, I will send a different email than clicked. Because if they opened and didn't click, the subject was something in the email that made sense for them, but not the email itself, the body. So I will try to send something else and intrigue them. So there are a bunch of reasons behind it. Also, I think that marketing is an evolving thing in a company. You have today an idea, you try it, it's not working, you refine it, or if it works, you try it better. Bottom line, I do think that workflows can be more flexible, customizable, and if you don't have experience, cadences probably will work for you.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. Having to do with your experience, size of your company, complexity of your sales cycle, how sophisticated is your go-to-market strategy. I think those are all factors that are going to let you choose whether you want the kind of very rigid, simplified structure of cadences or the more complex, nuanced, deployment of a playbook using blueprints. Yeah.
And as part of our 1,000 videos on our YouTube channel, we have also obviously videos on everything that we showed you so far, including cadences, in case you want to see more of that. Nah, I don't get this one. So let me show you first. So when you try to export data from Zoho, so you go to the setup, data administration, you want to export records. So I will start an export, we'll choose one of the modules, and you can see that you have an ability of CSV, and that was an existing option. And people requested to have also Excel. So Zoho did it, which obviously for Zoho, fantastic. They are listening to users and they're doing what they need to do. But I don't get it. CSV can be opened by any Sheets program like Excel and so on. And the limit is 200,000 records. Because it's Excel, it can be 50,000 records. It's just a bit more formatted, and people requested it. So this is the update.
Look, all I can say is good for Zoho for listening to the users. Users ask for it, they give it to them. I think we've seen companies run by Excel, right? A lot of our customers, before we give them a really cool CRM tool, they're using Excel to do their CRM, right? So even once we do a really good CRM deployment with Zoho for them, they're still going to have a big Excel footprint. I guess this is just why they want it because they're still doing a lot of functions in their company by Excel. So it's just integrating with Enterprise Excel. I like to call it Enterprise Excel.
Yep, and I think what you said is the reality. It's people just used to it, and they
Yeah.
they like to see the XLSX beside it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the update. The next one will be the blueprints. So for people that don't know what is a blueprint, you're missing a lot. So
Oh
when
yeah.
you're having any kind of CRM, so let's say you have this CRM, and let's go to the regular view. So that will be this area will be a blueprint. Now, a blueprint will be the technology that Zoho created that allows you to do it. It's a step-by-step approach. But what we create, for example, at our company, we call it playbooks because we're utilizing the blueprint in order to achieve a step-by-step approach with automations and process in mind. As an example, when a lead comes in, before someone can work on it, a timer starts to work. If there is more than 30 minutes of no response, this lead will be forwarded to a different sales agent and will notify the management that this person is ignoring his leads. So you have a bunch of activities that's happening in the background. When someone clicks on call answered, the system will ask, okay, I need you to provide me this information. Without that, you cannot proceed. And all those questions are what management wants the salesperson to ask, and so on and so on. I won't get you into this process. What Zoho did in this update, they went and created a better, smoother process. So it's much faster now. Before it was also good, David, right?
Yeah, I never found it slow, but I think the more bigger, complicated blueprints that you get, maybe there was some small lag time. I think they've eliminated that, which is look faster is always better, right?
Yep, and I think it's more on the admin side, so on the Canvas side. We have huge blueprints because we need to grab an entire department logic and we apply it on the system. So for us, for sure, it's a good update. And again, if you're not doing blueprints or playbooks, and I really recommend you doing it. That's the number one thing I would recommend the company to initiate in a CRM, any CRM.
Call us, we'll build it for you.
Yes, this is actually the number one thing. If someone asks me what your company is doing better than any other company, I would say we know how to design blueprints because the blueprint and playbooks are a business problem that needs to be fixed on the Zoho system. So you need to have people that understands business. David is 2.5 million years in business, for example, was C-level in billions of dollars companies. I'm more on in the small and medium-sized businesses, created, sold, did lots of those. And we have more great resources that we understand the business and we know how to take the business requirements and push them into a system when the customer understands what will be done before we even touch the system.
Yep, all true. Even how old I am. I used to ride a dinosaur to work.
I rode a bear to work. My bear is stronger than your dinosaur. Okay. Uh, Next, that's a big improvement actually. So for the people that don't know, Zoho just completely revamped the Zoho One. Until now, Zoho One used to be a license that is aggregating a bunch of softwares like CRM and so on. Now Zoho One is actually a software. So when you log into Zoho One, you can see that I have here a bunch of details. You can also click on widgets, and you can add widgets from different areas, from sales, marketing, HR, and so on and so on and so on. I will create a separate video for this specific case, but
Yeah, there's lots to unpack here for sure.
creating this dashboard that you just see here with those details will probably cost you $3,000. And you click on add the widget, you add the widget, and it's done. Free.
Yeah. Do it, and you do it by
Beautiful.
yourself. You don't have to wait for anybody. If you're like a CRM only user, you always start at that home button in the CRM and you get some basic stuff there. But if you're using multiple applications, which is highly recommended because Zoho has so many good applications that go toe to toe with their competitors in the market, then you want something like this where you can look at the summary of Zoho books and tasks coming from Zoho projects and status from the CRM. So if you've got multiple applications, it's a great starting place, great place to start your day.
Yeah, and I think it's awesome. Uh, yeah, we'll have another video just for that. Also, by the way, we'll have another video just for Zia because there are 1,005 things that you can do with it. The next one will be Zoho Cliq. I will show you a demo of how it works or how it's not going
How
to
it's
work,
supposed to work.
how it's supposed to work.
When they get the kinks out, this is going to be amazing because I will have Cliq conversations and I will be, oh, someone sent me that and I want to go find it. Having a really powerful search engine for Cliq, definitely something that I want, that other users want. So when they get this working smoothly, it's going to be great.
So if you go here to the search, you can see that you have one more option, and this is file object. So if you click on it, you can search by what. As an example, let's say that I sent Jesse a picture of a car, but I don't remember if it was Jesse or someone else, but I do remember a car. I will click on the car, it will search, and it will find it. In my case, it didn't. I tried it with Jesse. I sent Jesse a car, but it's not finding it. So there is a chance that because my system is a demo system, it's not enabled. You can also try it and drop in the comments if it works for you or if I'm doing maybe something wrong. But I was not able to find it. Here, you can just go to this URL and you can get more details about it. But for sure, it's a good thing. And by the way, one more thing about Zoho Cliq. Most of our customers are not using Zoho Cliq, which I don't get it. For any business, you want to use Zoho Cliq. If you think about it, there are few problems if you are not. So let's assume that, like most companies, you're sending messages to your employees using messages, WhatsApp, Skype, whatever system, Telegram. The moment that the employee is no longer with the company, they carrying all this IP, all this knowledge with them. And in most cases, they will use it as their portfolio to go to the next company. So your company is sponsoring another company now, even though they're not supposed to do it, but people are doing that. Another problem is, let's assume in our company, we take security and privacy super important. And let's assume that I have now an employee that is no longer with the company. I don't want them to carry your information after they're gone. It doesn't work like that. The moment that you have your employees communicating using Zoho Cliq, that can have chats, phone calls, video messages, group messages, alerts from the system, everything. It's a fantastic system. The moment that the employee is no longer with the company, when I turn off his Zoho license, he has no access anymore to any of those communications. It's very, very important. And I hope that no one will be in legal problem, but that will prevent you from having any issues. Also, the information, by the way, that you're running on free platforms, they own the intellectual property. So bunch of reasons why using Cliq as your source of truth. Do you like Cliq, David? I know you're
I use
just
it all day,
one
every
year with
day.
it. Okay.
And you know what I do is I'm in this interface once in a while, but I use the little shortcut interface in the bottom left-hand corner when I'm in, CRM or if I'm in another app. I go through that click. That's where I talk to my team all day.
So
Yeah,
that
right
will
there.
be this, yeah.
Yeah,
Also, by the way, you can get all those updates when a lead is created, and you get it also on your mobile device. Fantastic, fantastic software.
yeah,
Okay, next. This is a cool one.
yeah. No more cut and paste. I like this one.
Yeah, we'll also show you how to do that. So when you have documents, I assume that some people will create content for the website and they try to make it SEO optimized. You will have here this Zia button. When you click on it, you have a bunch of goodies. I recommend you checking it. It can go over spelling mistakes, grammar mistakes, the ease of reading, very, very good. Especially when people send proposals, sometimes they will use very big words, but not everybody can work with big words. So this will show you how to structure it properly. But you have one more. This is the SEO analyzer. It's a new one. When you click on it, it's analyzing the document and it's giving you a report about the main keywords that you're using, the headings, sub-headings, and everything that is important for SEO. So recommend you checking it as well if you're trying to create content for your website.
Yeah, once again, Zoho brings functionality into their base platform, so you don't have to be going out to a set of outside tools. As they continue to expand that footprint, you can stay more and more and more in the Zoho ecosystem, which I think is really good.
Yeah, and also all those nuggets, the Lucy chart that now replaced by Vani, it's probably 250 a year.
Yeah,
And the SEO analyzer, those tools are coming about 1,200 a year. So each one of those small nuggets, it's thousands and thousands of dollars with the same functionality.
right. Save some money.
Okay, let's proceed. Okay, so Zoho Analytics, I don't have a analytics to show you, but I am going to show you how it works.
I think it's great when you do this demo and you show it. I think with views tools, you've got like Tableau and Power BI and Zoho Analytics. The challenge sometimes is manipulating those data sets to build out those beautiful dashboards. Having this just natural language questioning to go and get your reports kind of just levels the playing field. You don't need any special skill set now to start doing some deep dive analytics on your company and company performance.
It's huge. Uh,
Plus the insights. I'm glad you're showing the insights too, which is great.
the Some reports will be not really expensive. Some will be very expensive depending on the data. If you know how to ask Zia questions, which probably in 1 hour you can learn how to do that, you will save thousands of dollars, lots of money. I sound super cheap today. I just try to save money, save money, save money. I'm stopping with the money. Okay. But obviously, those reports are critical. And for business owners that don't have proper reports, you're missing a lot. A lot. We'll
Yeah.
give you one example with our company. Before we moved to Zoho Books, we used to be on QuickBooks. Every year we have or every quarter, we check the profit and loss. And the profit and loss is for the entire company. So obviously it's necessary. But when we went to Zoho Books, Simon from Sphere Consulting installed for every line of business, he installed its own profit and loss. So now Zoho Books is giving me profit and loss for each business unit. So we had courses, architecture, development. We have a dedicated team offering when our company becomes your Zoho developer on a monthly basis. We have a bunch of offerings. The moment that we installed the profit and loss for each line of business, we saw that some of them, we thought that they are the best ever, so they brought tons of money, but there was no profit. They were losers. As an example, courses. We don't sell courses anymore because creating a course between resources and time and equipment, it's about $300,000 for a good course when the income is less than that. So it's not making financial sense to do it. So the only education that we do is free on YouTube. But once you have the ability to report and have good details and good numbers, it's a game changer for the company.
Yeah, it's really important to have that holistic view and understand what your true costs are and the true revenue. If you look at a course, if you look at, okay, I'm doing this amount of marketing to sell courses, if you compare just the marketing cost to the sign up cost, it's going to look hugely profitable. But if you factor in the fixed costs of developing the content, all of a sudden it's not looking as rosy. And so that holistic view through analytics is very, very important.
Yeah. Okay. So next, we move to Zoho projects. So let me show you how that works. And David, I know that you have a bunch of experience with that.
Yeah, I think while this is a good feature, I think it's a kind of like, it's like a hot stove or matches, use it with care, right? The whole idea of doing an approval is you're supposed to be doing a verification of something. And if you're going to do a bulk approval, you got to make sure that doing that bulk approval that you verified what's going on. I think it's good for big teams. I think it's good for repetitive tasks. I think it's good if you've got a really big team meeting that everybody attended, you can approve everybody's time for that meeting because they're all there. So I think there's some utility to it, but it's just a handle with care kind of feature because you've got a duty of care when you're doing an approval and doing a bulk approval. You will find that some of your people you're delegating to will just do bulk approvals to move on with their day, and you lose that checkpoint that you're trying to have with that approval. So it's a handle with care kind of feature.
Yeah. So can I use it, for example, when I have some timesheets that I know that they're good in advance? I just need to go ahead and push them forward.
Yeah, I think so. But that means you've already done your duty of care because you said they're good in advance, which means you've already done that check. And this lets you do the system approval very rapidly. It's a good feature. It just like I say, handle with care.
Okay. The next one will be I like sandwiches.
Uh-oh.
I don't like this one, but I do like sandwiches.
No, it's terrible.
It's
Well, look, it's a
terrible.
good feature, but I got to tell you, if I worked for a company that had a sandwich leave policy, I wouldn't stay there very long. So, for those of you who don't know what a sandwich leave policy, if someone, for instance, books a Friday off and a Monday off so they can have a 4-day weekend, if you've got a sandwich leave policy where you've checked in weekends or holidays, it's going to charge them 4 days off, even though they already have Saturday, Sunday off. So, you can see why employees will hate it. And I get why some employers want it, right? Over the years, I'm sure everybody can relate to this. You book 3 days off between Christmas and New Year's, you typically end up with like a 9-day period that you're off, which is great for the employee. If you have companies, though, that suffer heavily from people being off for long periods of time, you want to discourage those long breaks. And so if you put in a sandwich leave policy, you're going to consume a lot more days off for those 9 days in a row. I will caution you that you need to check what's the legality of the state, the municipality, wherever you are. Is this something that you can legally do or not do? As always, with anything in Zoho People, anything policy driven, just make sure you're within the bounds of the regulations that you have to live within.
Yeah, and I will tell you that I think that employees are the most important thing in a company, more than clients, more than anything else. And this is a good way to piss them off. So this product goes together with a Zoho Recruit tutorial because you you will need to recruit people.
And now the example I gave of booking a Friday and a Monday off and charging 4 days, that's not practical and people wouldn't do that. And you could see where you could have, a limit of if it's 10 days or more, then you apply it. So there is a degree of reasonableness that you can do when you're deploying it. And obviously the feature supports you doing it in a reasonable way. It just, employees aren't crazy about it. I don't blame them.
Okay, next one, it's a Zoho Desk. I don't know if I have a demo for that. The idea with, I do actually. So with Zoho Desk, you have a bunch of things that you will do on a recurring basis. So let's say someone is asking the same question again and again. In that case, let's see if I can run it. In that case, when you are having recurring requests, the system can handle them. So everything now goes to the AI world, and obviously also that. So that will be one more way to create agents. Agent will be a digital employee that can do things for you.
Yeah, this is the next evolution in tickets, right? Originally, you have tickets coming in, we're talking like 20 years ago, and then someone looked at, hey, we're getting a lot of these password reset ones. Why don't we create a portal with an FAQ or with a link to self-support, and you can take care of this yourself, right? And so you begin to evolve it. So now we're getting to the point where instead of an FAQ or a portal for self-service, you've got a support agent that can handle simple, trivial tasks. As AI and those support agents get more and more sophisticated, you start looking at, as opposed to like reducing your inbound call volume by 10 or 20%, you start replacing headcount with a digital employee, and then you've got some bottom line savings. You can well imagine the larger the company you are, the more people you have in a call center or a help center, the better the value will be from creating, 5-person company. You don't use something like this unless you've got customer facing support, in which case then it's pretty viable for you.
We in the company, first of all, as a policy, we don't fire people for AI, just so you know. And I hope
Yes.
that most of the people that are watching it will adopt the same philosophy. Otherwise, what's the point of having AI at all? But we are utilizing lots of AI to replace manpower, but the same manpower is just doing other tasks in the company. We're not firing anyone. One of the big things that we have is a receptionist that are scanning social media, responding to posts, responding to comments, booking appointments, doing everything that a human will do in a much better way. And if you need help with that, obviously we can help you.
Absolutely.
Also, you have the mess updates. I won't go into too much details, but the idea is that if you have a bunch of tickets, you can select multiple of them and send them templates or snippets. So you can update multiple clients at the same time versus going one ticket at a time. As an example, let's say my system went down, people starting to ask, hey, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? I can select all of them. I can send them in 1 hour, we'll be back. And that's it. The next one will be Zoho Books. So in Zoho Books, you have a way to send email notifications. The idea is that now you will have the ability to create templates, and those templates can be based on language, and the system will know how to do it. For example, I think there are pictures here. I did see it. Yes. So you will have here, you will have the different languages that your company supports. And then you will have, for the client part, you can have what language is the client. And based on that, the system will know what templates to pick up and send. I think every system needs to have it in Zoho. It's super, super good because you have lots of companies like us. We serve probably 5 or 6 languages. So it's good to have this ability. The next one will be the sales receipts. So for people that are, let me show you, sales. Yeah. So for people that don't know, there is an ability to create a portal for customers in Zoho Books. I really recommend you trying it. It's very good. In our company, for example, when we have customers, they don't ask us for invoices. They just go to their portal, they download it by themselves. So now Zoho added one more features, and that will be the receipts. So customers can also see and download the receipts. It's really nice. If you're serving customers and they need anything to do with your accounting system, give them access to the portal. Super easy and nice. And the last update is about Zoho Flow. For people that don't know, Zoho Flow, it's a system that's connecting between two systems. As an example, lead came into CRM. It will go to Zoho Flow, and Zoho Flow will create a ticket in Zoho Desk. And also it's connected to probably 1,000 different applications that are not Zoho. My problem with it, think about it like a fight. I don't know if you have any martial arts experience. When you have one-on-one type of a fight, the odds are okay because you have a chance to fight with it. When you have one more person, so 2 against 1, the chances are 1 to 1,000. Much more difficult. It's not just double the difficulty. With systems, it's exactly the same. When you have 2 systems talking to each other, it's not that common that this connection will break. But when you have a third party, anything can happen between those 3 parties. One small thing will break the entire integration, and that's a problem. So I don't think that using Flow or Zapier or all that is a great thing, but in some cases, that's the only way. And in that case, or you don't have budget to pay anyone to do direct integration, in those cases, Zoho Flow is okay. Zoho Flow will be similar to Zapier. So if you're spending money on Zapier, just use Zoho Flow. It's part of your Zoho One and it's free.
But you weren't going to focus on saving money anymore.
They didn't talk about money, but it's free. So I think that's it. We closed all the updates for Q1 2026.
This was fun. Can we do it again in Q2?
No. Yes, of course.
All right.
Yeah, we have it planned.
Fantastic.
It's in the calendar. That wraps up our What's New in Zoho update for this quarter. As you've seen, Zoho keeps releasing a lot of new features, but the real value is knowing which update actually matters and how to use it correctly inside your own business. If any of the updates were covered today caught your attention, or if you're not sure whether a specific feature is relevant for your setup, feel free to drop a comment below. I do read the comments, and very often your questions become the next topic for the next video. And of course, if you need help with Zoho, whether it's a one-time project, an optimization, or having a full team that acts as your Zoho department, we're here to help. And if you want a copy of this presentation with the links and details, scan the QR code on screen or check the description below. If this video gave you some value, like, subscribe, and click on the bell icon so you will get updates about the next video. Thank you very much for watching this session. I will see you in the next one.